If you lived in America between the years of 1950 and 1954, this question would be very familiar to you.
Have you ever been a member of the Communist Party? Have you ever been a member of the Communist Party?
Joseph McCarthy was a senator from Wisconsin that led a campaign of interrogations against alleged communists. Wanting to gain power within the Senate but being dismissed as a buffoon, McCarthy took advantage of the fear of communist influence in the nation. As Americans witnessed communism taking the world by storm, paranoia that it would spread from China and Russia to the U.S. swept through the country.
Stalin built an altar to the big lie. It is in rare.
As McCarthy was giving a speech at Wheeling, West Virginia on February 9, 1950, he began to claim there was a paper in his pocket with 205 names of alleged communists that were members of the legislative branch. For the next few weeks, he made countless speeches, becoming something like an overnight sensation.
His popularity stemmed from the fact that he was voicing the previously unsaid post-World War II fears about the rise of communism. The Red Scare of the 40s and 50s was a period of mass hysteria within America over the threat posed by communism, the political system created by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels.
Beware the big lie. Beware the dove that goes boom.
The power-hungry senator's witch hunt came to be known as McCarthyism. It primarily targeted those in government, the army, and the arts, but had the potential for nearly any American to be charged as a commie.
In a small group within the Screen Actors Guild which has consistently opposed the policy of the Guild, board and officers, or the Guild itself as evidenced by the vote on various issues. That small clique has been referred to, has been discussed as more or less following the tactics that we associate with the Communist Party.
With the entire country watching, the trials commenced, and hundreds of Americans were brought before a congressional panel. This is when they would be asked that famous question: are you part of, or do you sympathize with, the Communist Party?
The question is, have you ever been a member of the Communist Party?
I'm framing my answer in the only way in which any American citizen can frame his
Then you denied,
question
then you...
which invades his, absolutely invades
Then
his
you
right.
deny...
As the majority of those accused were in fact innocent, this campaign of often false accusations can be compared to the events of the Salem witch trials.
McCarthy was able to further publicize his campaign against communism after being elected chairman of the Senate Permanent Subcommittee on Investigations in 1953. While the subcommittee's original focus was to investigate fraud in the executive branch, McCarthy soon shifted it towards searching for communists.
Named by various committees, named by the Attorney General, as I recall. He belonged to it long after it had been exposed as the legal arm of the Communist Party.
When Dwight Eisenhower became president, it was clear that he did not approve of McCarthy or his ways. His ceaseless attacks were becoming political liabilities. In order to make up for his quick decline in popularity, McCarthy accused the U.S. Army of being soft on communism.
Little did I dream you could be so reckless and so cruel as to do an injury to that lad. It is true he is still with Hale and Dorr. It is true that he will continue to be with Hale and Dorr. It is, I regret to say, equally true that I fear he shall always bear a scar needlessly inflicted by you.
Upon witnessing his aggressive and often bullying tactics during the televised trials, many began to question both McCarthy's credibility and morality. On June 9, 1954, Joseph Welch, the Boston lawyer chosen to make the Army's case, effectively ended McCarthy's career following his charge that an attorney associated with Welch had communist ties.
I beg your pardon. Let us not assassinate this lad further, Senator. Look, you've done enough. Have you no sense of decency, sir, at long last?
McCarthy was literally stunned into silence as the room erupted into applause. The hearings later dwindled to a close, leaving McCarthy's reputation and political career in ruins.
McCarthyism sustained in some areas, however. Many hard-working citizens lost their jobs. Public school teachers who had been accused could not return to work. Those who could had trouble convincing their associates that they were indeed not communists.
The country suffered from not being able to know who to trust. There was no sense of closure, no final statement saying that it had all been false. Many leftists were forced to keep quiet for fear of persecution by the government as well as the general population. While it lasted only 4 years, McCarthyism took a major psychological toll on America, resulting in the discredit of many of those who were accused and ushering in a period of suppressed individualism.